And TravelWise is sponsored by BWI Air
Center all day today and every day.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Hey, good afternoon. Bill Keneally here alongside Mike Bona. Welcome to Weather Center. Mike, we have an interesting weather pattern setting up today for travelers heading, say, out of Memphis over to Nashville on I-40. Snow and locally heavy snow cutting visibility down to a quarter mile in the city of Nashville.
And that's signs of a cool front, another reinforcement of that cold air coming on down from the north.
And no picnic going into this event. It's only 27 with that snow, so likely to be some travel problems in the Volunteer State. It'll be interesting to see how far south and east this little snow band gets.
But the cold will get into Atlanta, and Atlanta was reeling under the effects of some cold this morning. Hot Atlanta, indeed. Folks at the bus stop waiting out there. And this morning you were only 1 degree away from tying a record low for the date. It was 21 at Hartsfield Airport. The good news is the sun made an appearance and a little bit of warm air squeezing on in ahead of the next cold front, up to about 40 degrees, but don't get used to it. We may be talking teens. How about temperatures less than 20 degrees as we go on into the morning? Bill Keneally, the only thing he recalls about this video was the Yankee jacket that somebody is wearing, New York Yankee jacket. Ah, yes, spring training is with us, but you'd never know it looking at these temperatures. Even Florida has been in the deep freeze. Any spring training that goes on in Arizona, does it still go on in Arizona? There you're getting some wonderful weather in this point in March, but well below average, 10, 15 or more degrees, and look at how cold it was in the northern plains. That's where the real body of cold air is coming from, well below zero. Places like Rapid City, even down to northern Kansas. Chicago, you were only 14. And after a very mild day yesterday, New York, Boston into the 20s, and even colder weather coming your way. Take a look at this stuff. Williston, North Dakota, 28 below. That was a record for the date. Rapid City, 18 below. And Hastings, Nebraska, you guys were breaking your all-time March record. Rapid City, the second coldest March day on record. Nashville, 19, and now snowing again. We're looking at Birmingham with a tie of 21 degrees, Mobile, Alabama, 28, and even South Florida. Wow, the Grapefruit League really drinking some maybe hot cocoa instead of grapefruit juice right now in Central Florida, with temperatures approaching freezing by morning. 57 right now in Tampa, but only 31 in New York and Boston. Say goodbye to that. A little drop tonight as temperatures remain in the single digits. With this very cold weather, we have high pressure over the area too, but still some wind around. Wind chills down to 25 below at Bismarck, 28 below wind chill temperature at Rapid City, and it feels like 6 below in the Loop at Chicago and in Motown and Detroit. with this cold air, big high pressure that brought your barometer over 31 inches in Nebraska, where it was more than 20 below in Valentine. Western New York, Pennsylvania, and around Akron, Ohio, 20 to 40 below is what it's going to feel like by morning. Ditto that for Minneapolis. And some of the freeze warnings are expanding in the south, from South Carolina to Georgia to Alabama and even northern Florida. This is going to be damaging to some of the early blooms and maybe some of the peach crop too. From New Mexico to Arizona to California, though, it's sunshiny weather. You can see all the snow in the Rockies. Enjoy that skiing weather right now. But temperatures are up there. 84 around midday in L.A. That's warmer than yesterday. San Diego 78, 60 in Seattle. So as cold as it is east of the Rockies, it's much chillier to the west. Now here's Bill.
And Mike, we have the snow right at that leading edge of the Arctic air from the Midwest down to the Tennessee Valley and back into the Great Lakes area. Some snow falling and some of that pretty heavy. Let's show you some pictures. Lake effect snow in South Bend, Indiana coming in right now. Earlier today, as you can see, it wasn't too bad. We actually had a glimpse or two of sun. I see a shadow being cast by that car. Check out the size of the snow piles, though. The plow has left. There has been locally as much as a foot. Here comes the plow now. Locally as much as a foot of snow has fallen in portions of northwestern Indiana. So what's going on? The cold high pressure building in and coming over the relatively warmer waters of the Great Lakes is that cold air. Cold air cannot hold as much moisture, so once it finds the moisture and it's being carried downstream, it deposits that snowfall in the land masses directly to the south and east, or on the leeward side of the Great Lakes. In this case, the lee side of Lake Michigan, being from roughly Traverse City down to about the Gary, Indiana area, and the lee side of Lake Erie, roughly Sandusky, Ohio, all the way to just south of Buffalo. Satellite picture shows, for one thing, a lot of snow cover in Iowa and Nebraska and northern Kansas, and Mike talked about that flow from the north coming over the snowpack. That air is not getting a chance to modify. It will be a very cold night tonight in the Dallas area, as well as Tulsa, Oklahoma, just to name a few. Satellite picture, the other variety, the infrared picture, and that is showing the clouds spinning here nicely. This is a function of the temperature of the clouds. The colder tops showing up in the white shading, and there beneath that cold dome of cloud cover is some bands of snow, or are some bands of snow. And there's some of that snow around the St. Louis area. That's starting to die down. More snow for the Ohio Valley, deep down into Kentucky. The snows off of Lake Michigan appear to be dying down somewhat. Let's head into St. Louis, see what's happening now around the St. Louis area. We have had, again, the snowfall fairly heavy over the morning hours, now starting to taper down some, but generally a 1 to 2 inch fall of snow has been seen in and around the confluence of the Missouri and the Mississippi River. So use caution. It's very cold out there too. Temperature is barely at 20, so what is falling is definitely sticking. Back to our map, there's our snow in Kentucky, now getting into Nashville, Tennessee.
Second, stay informed.